We have found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas, and we have wonderful guests. And today, Michelle and I will be talking about empowerment and encouragement, because it comes from making informed decisions from deep inner knowing and research of truth. And we can be encouraged by the fact that we can clearly see evidence of so many people waking. We are united in truth, heartfelt compassion, especially around what happened in Maui. And we are poised for victory. So let me bring Michelle on. Welcome, Michelle. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
You have some great poetry that we'll share as we talk about these things. But I think empowerment, encouragement is really needed right now for so many people. It's really hard to be, what shall we say? I was just thinking of something I wrote in as a response to something. Remember when Kennedy said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country? Right now, that couldn't mean more.
That's true. That's true.
So we need to unite. We need to stand together in truth, and we need to be given the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's been a topic of concern, which I shared on the previous show with Carrie Cassidy, and you and I talk about it frequently. But we've also have picked out some interesting poems.
Yeah, actually, when you were saying that, it made me think of one of the lines of the poems that you're going to read, the one called Soul Choice.
Yes, that's it.
That you have to make a decision, and there's no fence sitting. So, this is not a time for apathy. It's not a time for just sitting on the couch, not participating. Prayer works, meditation works, setting intentions work, visioning work. We're here to evolve and raise our consciousness and use our power, because we're more powerful than we realize. And we're becoming conscious creators, evolving out of victimhood, understanding the physics of consciousness. Our willpower does have power, understanding that we're sovereign and that we can make sovereign choices and not be deceived. This is our discernment, which is part of our empowerment. We've been growing in empowerment, and we've been seeking the truth within, and, through all this information that is coming out and has been out, just not really broadcast, but mostly suppressed through, lies, cover-ups, murders. We're living in it's a movie, all right, but it's not fake.
It's not a good movie.
Well, but so that's I think it has to do with our empowerment, and that we have to realize what our power is. And I do believe we're being activated by our own efforts and also by the cosmic energies coming in, and they interplay, which is why the Schumann resonance is going up and spiking. We do get cosmic energies. We do get you know, it's like the alternate current, you know, where our currents of electromagnetic photonic energy are going out and radiated and emanated, and we're also receiving these cosmic energies. And so because we're setting our intention and our vision in the space and getting our vibration higher, we are discerning truth, and it's not as easy for people or groups to cover up the truth. And so that's what the Great Awakening is all about. People are seeking the truth, sharing the truth, broadcasting the truth, and that's what the light warriors are doing, really finding the truth, standing for truth, discerning truth. And I think part of the encouragement is that in Maui, I mean, I don't know very many people at all, you know, that's natural, or that, you know, that there was no, you know, harm, nefarious things or anomalies, or, you know, you can, you know, use euphemisms as much as you want, but it's cruel and evil and murder, and, you know, we're finding out the truth.
Exactly. You could say many people are starting to hack the dark and spread the light, and that's what's happening. So and as far as Maui goes, we're finding out some very disturbing things based on an article we were just looking at from Carrie Cassidy. I don't know if we should go that way or go back to the we can always bring up the well, let's start with a soul choice. Let's go with that first, and then maybe we'll take it a step further.
Yeah, let's go with that. Our level of conversation is back and forth from 3D and 5D. So when we look at the higher spiritual purpose and our consciousness growth, you know, that's more looking at 5D and raising the vibration. And then the 3D part, which is, you know, if we stayed in the pure physical, limited perspective and be disempowered like that, you know, we can't just stay there. Otherwise, we're victims of our life. We're becoming empowered creators and standing up for ourselves, you know, our country and our world. So read that poem. That'd be a great starting place, if you don't mind.
Okay, I'm going to hold the book up here, and I hope I can read it smoothly. So bear with me. I don't want you to see my head the whole time, so I'm not going to hold it
Forever
up.
Free. I always forget to plug my own books, but that's what we're reading out of.
I forget to plug my own products. I forget to plug in anything in it. It really is hurtful.
Because the conversation itself is so interesting, you know, because everything works together. What's happening in the world, you know, our levels of consciousness shifting, and, you know, us, you know, raising to a new vibration and dimension, individually, collectively, and our whole planet.
Very much so. This is a great poem. We can even stop at certain places.
Yeah,
based on what,
that one is really long, and it's 2 pages.
Yes. I did read through this one before we started real quickly, but anyway, and I like it a lot. Soul Choice, it's called. There's no lack of participation, no apathy, no quitting. There's no lukewarm attitude. There's no fence sitting. Every life has experience where choices must be made. Within relationships and circumstances, the hand of life is played. Soul tests are behind these decisions where inner energies play. The inner life has developed more or less in this way. We've come upon a precipice where cycles and cycles end. At last chance for repentance, time to heal and mend. Picking up the puzzle pieces, combine to make one whole. Consciousness in DNA ignites, truth activates the soul. That is what everybody needs, is truth. It's a frequency, and it will activate and galvanize the American people. But we have been so filled with so many lies. We just need the right people to come out and tell us the truth. Trump has been telling us the truth pretty much all along.
There's a lot of truth coming out about Maui, and there's a lot of truth coming out about everything. But I'm thinking of Maui right now because so many people, it breaks our hearts. It just breaks our hearts to see what's happened there, what's happened to children. And, you know, have actually, I understand from a video that I watched that one person was talking to another person on the video, and it just sunk in to one of them that these are not natural. Well, they've had fires in Oregon, Paradise, California, Santa Rosa, California. They had fires that, left trees alone and melted tires and metal as back as that was on Michael Jaco's video. He had Von Dam, or I can't think of his name, but
I know who you mean. Yeah,
yeah.
I know who you mean, though. I don't know if everybody else does, but I know who you mean. Yeah, he's good.
And so, but so here's the thing. I saw a long time ago. Well, partly I was looking into it when I was researching smart meters, and I understand that they worked in tandem with those directed energy weapons. And so that was my first introduction. And then when I saw the results of the fires, I knew that, clearly, maybe it was videos I was watching, but clearly that was not like a regular natural fire.
That's not a natural fire at
all.
Those
people that try to say, oh, climate change. No, it's not. It's weather warfare, weaponized technology. It's evil targeting of areas to cause destruction and death. And we see it. But now, my point really is that it was amazing to me that right now people are waking up more than ever that didn't get it before at the previous fires, or have the previous research that understands what the technology is, who is using it, who is using it in a nefarious purpose, that there are people that actually are doing that, and that have nefarious agendas. So I believe our upgrade in consciousness has to do with discernment and realizing, having, being able to ascertain with our soul intelligence intentions and motives. So we are developing in such a way that we are not deceived as we were in that process right now. And the operation to wake people up is basically making things very blatant and very obvious. And so once you get that cognitive dissonance and you do more research and dig in, and the more people that dig in, the more puzzle pieces we get and put it together. And it's almost like a book where you're like right on the brink of destruction, and everybody suddenly wakes up and puts an end to it. It's almost like suddenly things are going to shift and all that evil is going to go away. I pray that.
Once people shift to a higher frequency, they can't exist. And truth is part of a higher frequency, in my opinion.
And we need the collective to reach a critical mass, like the 100th monkey.
Yes, definitely.
Anyway.
Okay, moving right along on the rest of the poem here, because that was important. Okay, the last line was truth activates the soul. Then it goes on to say, is truth more important or financial gain? A choice point in life may reveal evolution gained. Yeah, it's, what does everybody say nowadays about all the problems in our world? It's always about money.
Follow the money.
Follow the money, exactly.
If everybody got audited from the DOD, the DOJ, the government, and every institution and every corporation, we would find out which individual is getting money that is not, really like the payoff money. They're doing various things.
I think that's why Julian Assange used to say 98% of our government will be gone once everything is revealed. Very few people are honest and integrity, and frequently just doing things to boost their own re-election, career, finances, whatever it happens to be, because that's what it's all been about for the longest time. So And I'm afraid it hasn't changed, no matter how much we might like to believe otherwise. So, okay. Are you building an empire or an exclusive club for some, or operating with others to get something positive done? Are you serving God through truth and love expressed, or perhaps seeking monetary gain characterizes you best? Are you obliged to follow directives, or will you truly do what's right? Will you find your power within and feel courage in your own light? I'm going to stop there for a minute because
Good. I was going to ask you to, because of the people saying, "Oh, I'm just doing my job. I'm
exactly.
told to do this." Whether you're giving an injection, whether you're stopping people who are trying to escape from a fire, no matter what you're doing, if you are doing the wrong thing, it doesn't matter if somebody told you to do it. You've got a conscience. And
Use it.
if you fail that conscience test, then it's on you. Everyone's accountable.
Then you're NPC, a non-person character, without any feelings, without any soul, carrying out the duties of an elite group that doesn't have any love for humanity. So that's very something to think about.
Well, there's consciousness everywhere and there's accountability everywhere. I understand that term, but I'm not so sure if the validity of it in terms of making somebody non-accountable. I think there's accountability everywhere.
I guess I'm not following you on
the non-character person or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, have you seen who is she? That Merkel, I think, or I don't mean the Germany lady. I mean the one that's married to the young. God, I don't pay attention. I'm seeing their face, but I'm not thinking of their name. Martha Merkel, one of Princess Diana's sons. Maybe I put it that way. Okay, yeah. And who he's married for. They both look like robots to me. So I don't know how they're held accountable, but
yeah, I know what you mean. But there's a handler for those clones, and there's like
I get it.
Doppelgangers, right. There's handlers. I know there's clones. I know there's proxy bodies using artificial intelligence. I understand all that.
But they're run by somebody.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Good point. Okay. Let me see if I can figure out where I left off. Okay. A thorough heart checkup with an honest evaluation that a dedication and surrender to God will remedy the situation. With a renewed, pure heart and pure intention that is clear, each soul choice is mastered. We help to create heaven here. Hold compassion for each wayward soul. Ignorance is their exemption. Say a prayer to light their way. Have faith in their redemption. Power lies in the wisest choice to change yourself alone. Deep inside lies absolute truth, where Father God is known. Receptive, open-hearted souls receive revelatory impressions. Bringing this truth to life is Holy Spirit expression. Attunement creates clear connection for divine guidance to come through. Listen closely, deep inside. Your soul knows what to do.
And that's it. I just talk about attunement a lot and going within a lot and, visiting with your attention, and your soul and your heart and your love. It's like communing with God, communing with the Christ light within. You get attuned to the highest vibration. You get attuned to the infinite intelligence of the universe, the Christ wisdom, the revelations, and we get informed basically from the highest level of intelligence. And, that's how we really broaden our perspective and deepen our perceptions so that we can call BS, and it's so evident when it is, because things don't fit together. And it's almost like common sense. It's a spiritual intelligence, common sense factor. And hopefully it can be transferred just like the 100th monkey, where it transfers through the collective consciousness, because some people, it may have to come from inside, or the overwhelming majority has adopted that intelligence, and we're all one, we're all connected in this unified field of light, of consciousness, the morphogenic field of the collective consciousness of humanity. We are all really united. And if we can unite consciously, and if we can set intentions, and if we create heaven on earth, and if we follow God's divine plan and our own unique blueprint, then everything else will dissolve. And really, that's what's happening. It's coming up for healing. The negative or the bad or the evil that we see, it's coming up for healing. Everything is light, energy, and vibration. And so we can, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It only changes form, and how we use our attention and our vibration and our imagination, our imaging, getting calibrated with our consciousness, with no limitations and empowerment. That's where we can see a change and make a change. I mean, I feel very strongly, and I do the meditation, and I'm not like one of those, oh, I'm just going to wish and dream and pray. I do all that, but I get out there and take action, as you know.
Yes, you do.
I'll raise my sign. I'll raise my voice. I will, put education, community education together. I'll get on videos with you.
And you know what? This is something Judy Mikovits says. Courage is contagious. When they see, you can just compare that to when one person in a room stands up and starts clapping, and then all of a sudden another one and another one and another one, that 100th monkey thing that you're talking about. Exactly. Well, that's what we need to happen in America and around the world for that way. It is happening, but even more.
But that's the encouragement. It is happening. We need to recognize how much progress we've made. We need to focus on the solution and the progress and the optimism and the higher vibration and celebration. We need to get our vibration high and even imagine celebrating the total defeat of the darkness, the wicked, the agendas, and use our power.
And they cannot be eliminated unless we know they have to be exposed first. Then we take action to, and it's being done. Like you said, things are collapsing and are being boarded up, and a number of other things. It's unfortunate that we haven't had, we can't trust mainstream media for anything, otherwise more people would know more already.
But even in that regard, look at how many people, don't watch mainstream media. I know. That is a point of encouragement right there. They are going down the toilet really fast. They are being flushed away so fast. They are making themselves obsolete even as we speak.
Right. Let's see. Maybe I should show that cute little watermark ballot.
Yeah. Let me say something real quick before I forget, though, because we were talking about empowerment, and I just now thought of this. On my Smile Soul Power channel on YouTube, I made a video called The Way We Watch. And the way we watch videos, like, we'll learn about things that are happening. We can have a response to that. For example, if you learn about someone's agenda, let's just say there's going to be a something 2.0, and so you watch something, and so your response, your heart, your willpower, your intention can come out while you're watching it, and you're going to say, that's not going to happen on my watch. That's not going to happen on my timeline. No, I don't buy it this time. And that's happening too. Another point of encouragement. But if you watch that video, The Way We Watch, it gives the self, the individual self, encouragement and empowerment to change your attitude when you're watching something. Instead of buying into it and say, that's the way it is, You look at it and you say, no, they might have that plan, but that is not what's going to unfold. That's taking your power back.
Yeah. And the more we expose negative things that they're going to do, the less likely it'll even happen, because then you've ruined their plans by exposing them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is in part why the white hats are sometimes as quiet. They don't want to expose what they intend to do. I understand that. I just want to see more and more people, and they are waking up, to get to the point where it just causes a complete change.
We have to trust God's timing. It's God's plan. It's God is in control ultimately. And if we can each play our own part and do the best we can do, I think that we are uniting. I see so many good things, and I focus my attention on these good things, and I'm like a cheerleader. I love it. I love it. I love it. Good things are.
People need that. We need that. That's encouragement. That's empowerment right there, to encourage that kind of thing, and to see it and to recognize it. Being recognized matters.
Yeah. Recognize it, recognizing and being aware, that gives it more power, giving the solutions, and, noticing that more people are waking up, noticing the actual evidence that more people are waking up, noticing that more people are coming out and speaking out more.
And that's important. No time to be shy and bashful, and I should talk, because believe me, even though people would think I wouldn't be that way out here, because of what I do, but when it comes to just being out without people I don't know, I'm kind of chicken. But anyway, and our vibration is related to our awareness. So as we become more and more aware, it raises our vibration. So these kinds of things are happening. And so keep reading and researching and being aware, and don't expect to see it in mainstream media. Maybe as people have left mainstream media the way they have, maybe they actually are. Part of the reason this is happening is because they are looking at alternative sources that they never considered before.
That is exactly what's happening in increasing numbers. We don't realize how big of a group we are, people that are tuned into truth. We're waking up more and more every day, every second of every day. We're waking up more and more. And the attention that's been given to Maui, our heartfelt compassion, our love that we send, we care. We're united in the truth about Maui. We are united in that vibration of compassion.
Very much so. We have information. I don't know if I should share it or not. Let's see. And what I'm talking, one of the things, okay, awareness is important, right? And what happened in Maui is extremely disturbing, especially as some other information comes out. But one of the things that they were doing in Maui and why they did all this destruction and so on was to make it into, at least this is what we believe at this point in time, to make it a city, which, whether you know it or not, you need to look into your city municipal politics, because I have a list of cities that was just posted today in Facebook by a friend of mine, Penny Bradley, and I'd like to show the screen. So people need to be aware of this. I don't think most people would even have a clue. So let me make sure I get the right page here.
And when you put those up, I'm going to say, remember to watch that video the way you watch, because just because they have it planned doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Exactly. This is what we want to stop, is really what it boils down to. But if you notice, I am sharing the screen, right? You're seeing this.
Yeah.
Look at the number of cities that have agreed to this. And how many of these places have asked any of their population that wanted it or not? Anybody?
No.
None of them have. That's why you get active at the very local level and make some correction and say, hey, did this needs to be brought up to more people and get it stopped. I have some people in a lot of these cities, And Phoenix is very concerning. I guess the Scottsdale area of Phoenix is setting up for that.
The infiltration, Agenda 2013 and Agenda 2030 have been getting into the county governments. They have had pandemic plans. They have had takeover energy. It's the infiltration, and at every level, all the communities, has been happening for a long time. And in my community where I lived in Oregon, I saw the funding coming in from the Chinese, the CCP. I saw some people that were associated with CCP organizations. I saw a state representative. Now, see, a lot of them, their infiltration, they used honeypots. I saw politicians married to Chinese women, and how they were, I know one in particular,
seduced.
Was getting to, well, I don't, I'm just an observer, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I certain marriages and stuff. And if you look at our politicians, see who's married to who. And so there was one in particular that I know was associated with these other people. Interestingly, a lot of the women in the couples were Chinese, and they had associations. And like this one, for example, a state representative in Oregon was going back to China and getting precious metals from a friend of a friend and taking it as gifts over to China. Okay, so I was picking up all these little pieces of Chinese infiltration, and that was over a decade ago. And so in 2012, I went to a conference type thing in Mount Shasta. Carrie Cassidy was there, as a matter of fact. And I asked her right then, Carrie, what is the deal with the Chinese? So I didn't know it was the CCP. I'm not talking about all Chinese, of course. When we talk about our deep state in America, we're not talking about all the Americans. We're talking about the deep state. When we talk about the CCP, we're not talking about all the Chinese. We're talking about their deep state, basically. So a lot of our politicians were selling things out to the CCP. And so they were selling out our communities. They were selling our land, our counties. They were infiltrating our governments. They were infiltrating every institution, including education, which I watched. And so, the fact that they're targeting those cities, the infiltration and these plans have been going on in subtle ways for
a
long time. And I mean, I have done research, I have gathered information, and there's an organization, I forgot the acronym for it, but it was part of the Agenda 2013, Agenda 2020. They were like a little organization that would come in, and they would be supposedly coming to help the county some way, but it was an infiltration program. And so they would acquire land. They would, it was just,
they're buying up a lot of farmland. I heard that there are police stations in the United States that are Chinese run. I don't know how that can be possible.
Yeah, I can.
Well, I've read it.
I do. I mean, they got rid of, good teachers, and I watched them when the takeover energy came in. I didn't know what I know now. I just called it takeover energy. I didn't know we were being infiltrated. But what happened was that they got rid of any independent thinker, any critical thinker, anyone that was, went against their agenda. And I watched it happen. I saw the MK Ultra. I saw what they did to put fear into people to go along with their agenda, and how they eliminated people, teachers, tenure or not, if they didn't go along with the agenda.
Right. That happened to me. I was teaching at Scottsdale Culinary Institute, and I was told that I was, I also taught environmental science, and I was told I was a conspiracy theorist, and I did get my contract renewed. I mean, if you like you said, if you're a critical thinker and you question things, and they don't want those things questioned, they won't they'll let you go.
So one of their biggest tools, Gail, of course, is the media. And so a long time ago, I learned, I'm boots on the ground, and we have this school situation. It was a strike, and there were, reasons to do that. It was partly part of the takeover. They had those private public partnerships coming over, taking over department by department. And so on the media, they were saying teachers are greedy. They're striking for more money. So they would use the media and turn the general population
against the teachers.
But they use the media to turn people against people all the time. And not only that, but they put their spin on it, always have, and they create a perception, deception, manipulation of perception. And so one of my memes that I shared with you actually on Skype was, how many people have ever been in the situation where you are right there in real life and the media paints a totally different
picture?
Because that happens, to me, it happens to a lot of people. And we know the media will, they're like a huge tool of deception. And so, that's one of the biggest things that's coming down now, which is why our country's been taken over, which is why they have the nerve to try to create smart cities. So we need to accelerate the wake up.
Right. And maybe we should share the screen on Carrie's site. What do you think about that? Should we do that?
Sure.
Okay, let me hit the share here. I just think the more knowledge you have, whether you believe it to be true or not, you need to feel that truth resonance. But at the same time, if you're not aware of anything, there's nothing you can do. So I just want to make you aware of something that was just written, and it is concerning. So,
and I would like to comment on that, because she talks about the DOD. So individual people and groups are selling out to the CCP. It's not the whole DOD, but it's the ones that sell out to the CCP, which are the same ones that change the data about the numbers of the clot shot damages and stuff like that. It was changed at the DOD, and they got caught at the DOD changing.
Yeah, we are on YouTube, by the way. Yeah.
Well,
they take us down and take a strike. But anyway, it's the truth. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just thought I kind of forgot about it myself.
I saw a clip of someone sticking up for the truth, and it was at one of the town hall meetings or something on Maui, and the lady tried to cut her off because she was spilling her beans and speaking the truth, and she was saying, you can't talk about that because that's not on our agenda. And she said, you and your agenda can kiss my you-know-what. That's about how I feel right now.
Yeah, that's, you know what? That reminds me of something that I just saw. Where, remember that movie a number of years ago where they said, I want you to go to the window and I want you to shout out the window, I'm as mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. Yeah. And there we are today.
Yeah. So I mean, I personally wouldn't put stuff like this on YouTube because they're part of the censorship. They're trying to, I mean, going along with their censorship is just like wearing a mask and shutting up. I mean, I personally don't feel like I'm going to shut up. You better.
I don't either. Oh, maybe I didn't put this on. I don't see anybody in the chat at all. So, I got it on YouTube. Oh, well. If they take me down, so what else is new? I just can't, post there for a week or so and stuff like that.
Our willpower and our intention has to override, their trying to intimidate people with fear of censorship. They have to come down, not us. We're here to bring the light, and the light is going to defeat them. And everybody should have free speech. It's in our Constitution, and God gave us the freedom of speech.
Well, I don't know if I should let people read it, but it really suggests that NORAD itself is compromised or contains infiltrators or generals not loyal to Trump. So they could have stopped the attack, but they didn't stop the attack. This is concerning. It really is. But it just tells us that we have, in our own military, we have white hats and black hats is a way of describing it. And I believe that, I still believe that the white hats are, are basically winning, but they still have, it's one battle after another, because what's happening is people never expected to sell out.
The good military versus the bad military has been evident for a long, long time. They were infiltrated just like everything else. And naturally, if someone's going to try to take over a country and, destroy it, naturally, that's going to be a primary target is the military. Why do you think they got away with so much? All the people tried to, mandate, the, death shots, to our military.
Yes.
That's so obvious for so long. And, certain people that are treasonous, that are so evident, that are in the military, this is no surprise whatsoever.
Really. And a portion of the military willing to attack their people. Now, when somebody thinks that that's impossible, all you have to think about is past leaders like Stalin, some of the other ones. They killed millions of their own people. This kind of thing can and will happen.
It's really not their own people. It's infiltration. It's sellouts. It's people that have made the wrong choice.
Well, that's true. That's true. You're right.
They're acting for money. They're acting for bribes.
Yes.
Getting blackmailed or bribed or something.
Right. Well, anyway, this article is on Carrie Catt's site, and I would encourage you to read through it yourself and see what you think.
Project Camelot
Portal.com. It is .com, isn't it? Yeah. So
yes,
she keeps on top of this. Now, one of the other things that I meant to mention when we had the smart cities up, I happen to know that there were 14 cities that were listed. I don't know if, that was in addition to those cities or what, but these particular cities had on their agenda, put together by their municipal councils or whatever, that no meat, no dairy, and no private cars.
That's not going to fly.
Yeah.
Who's going to stand for that? I mean,
the politicians will be flying out the window. That's what.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, they're trying to push it, though. It's not as though they haven't.
It's that ridiculous to wake people up. That's all there is to it. It's getting that ridiculous to wake people up and make them stand up. I mean,
that's a QFA. That's a good way of putting it. I like that. That the white hats have the upper hand. Yeah. I really believe that. And some of the stuff that happened is, when you're in a war, I guess that's the thing that disturbed me the most, is most people don't even know that we are in a war. I mean, these things like that they try to do that are very damaging, but they don't make it look exactly. They start fires. They blow up food manufacturing plants. It is war. It's not the same kind of war, but it's bad guys doing some very nefarious things to hurt people.
It's an information intelligence war, and people who raise their vibration and attune to God's divine plan and God's intelligence are actually part of God's hand working in our world. We are part of God's hand when we attune to the divine plan and play our part, and we're all working together.
Yeah, sometimes, Michelle, people will say things like, well, just let go and let God. It's like, I don't have to do anything. God's going to take care of everything. What do you have to say to that?
Well, what I just said, if you attune to God's will, I mean, I attune to God's will and surrender to God's will. I feel like a spiritual warrior. I'm very passionate. And that's why I take action. I don't feel like a wimp. I don't feel like a victim. I don't feel like I'm going to sit down and take it. I will put my life on the line to do what's right. I have, and I will continue to.
So have I. And we will.
I have no fear of these nefarious people. I would rather be in tune with God and do God's will and be the bigger person and, take a stand. And, what was that phrase? I'd rather, something about standing for liberty than, I'd rather stand for liberty than die on my knees or something.
Die on my knees. Yeah. I'd rather live on my feet, or no, than live on my knees. I'd rather stand on my feet than live on my knees. Something like that.
Something like that.
That's what Kenny. Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only one I bow to is God, and that's where I get the information, the power, the gusto that I have. The spirit.
Well, if you don't mind, I'd like to take a mini break and show a 1.5 minute ad about super patches, and it's called the Liberty Patch. It's only a little over a minute, and I'm going to share a screen. It's actually on my channel on Rumble and YouTube, and because I have to, I'm in a situation where I really need to make sales. If you can help with contributions and so on, I have a lot going on right now. So let me show this. I'll share my screen. And this is very interesting, and I've been using these, and I'm amazed. Okay, I really am, and I wouldn't say that if I wasn't. So let me.
It is the world's only product that instantly improves a person's balance, stability, and strength. Recent studies show that users see 30% improvements in balance and stability, and almost 20% in power and strength. This is important because balance and strength are the two leading biomarkers for longevity. Leading global studies indicate that the better an adult's balance, stability, and grip are, the greater their vitality and longevity. Let me say that again. If a person has better balance, stability, and grip strength, they'll live longer and healthier. The Liberty Patch is like the fountain of youth and instantly reduces the user's biological age. Comparatively, there isn't a product or supplement or drug or therapy that can do that instantly. Other benefits include more energy, better recovery, and reduced fall risk. So what's the secret to the Liberty Super Patch? Every super patch has ridges stimulating the skin and creating sensations that optimize the brain-body connection. The ridges are like Braille for the brain. It's the Super Patch VTT technology. Just imagine that, a completely drug-free product that helps people live longer, healthier with more vitality and energy. The Liberty Patch is 100% drug and ingredient-free, FDA registered, and made here in the USA. The Liberty Super Patch is a breakthrough in human wellness. It is the world's only product that instantly improves balance, stability, and strength. Recent studies show that users see 30% improvements in balance and stability, and almost 20% in power and strength. This is important because balance and strength are the two leading biomarkers for longevity. Leading global studies indicate that the better an adult's balance, stability, and grip strength are, the greater their vitality and longevity. Let me say that again. If a person has better balance, stability, and grip strength, they'll live longer and healthier. The
I decided, I think it was playing twice, but I would encourage you to go to my channel, either on YouTube or Rumble or Odyssey. You can find that entire video there, and it's it was looking like it was 13 minutes. I was thinking it was a little over a minute. I didn't want to play a full 13 minutes, but like I said, this is something that's been quite amazing, And I'd encourage you to check it out. And it's much cheaper than so many other things out there that you either have to, take a handful of pills or ingest or whatever. And what I like about it, it's free. So that's really important. So anyway, moving right along, Michelle, I'm back. And where do we want to? We had another video or two that, not
Or
video.
a poem too. There was a couple other ones.
Yes. Which.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have that. You know what? I've got the well and lighthouse marked, but the other one, it fell out.
I'll tell you what that one is. And it is, it's on page 69, and I'll read it if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
Okay. And actually, one reason I wanted to read this is because I wanted to mention, it's really interesting because when you are, when I write poetry, it's usually coming from within my own heart, my higher self, and so forth. But sometimes I know that I'm channeling. And when I know that I'm channeling, it will like use words that I would not use. So this is one of those poems that was channeled because I don't use these words,
Oh, okay.
I don't use these words. So that's one thing that's interesting about it.
Maybe like automatic writing, they call it, or something like that.
Yeah, but channeling comes from another source that is maybe an ascended master or angel or guide or higher light being. So
okay, go ahead and read it.
yeah. So it's called One Family. I wanted to say that because these words are kind of, okay. Wherever thou goest, let us go. Whatever thou sowest, let us sow. Let us spread thy love and light, illuminating every star so bright. From high up in the heavenly realms, down to earth we bring thy elms. Manifesting thy perfect vision we see, blossoming on earth as doth the trees. Experiencing the joy of divinity expressions, with understanding and wisdom from earthly lessons, shedding illusions of separation, knowing our oneness with all creation. As we illumine our soul's pure essence, we're always aware of your great presence. In the now, we are one with thee, realizing our pure divinity. Being one with your great light, releasing past pains and illusions of plight. From our consciousness, Christ revelations emerge, birthing our true self, our virtues surge. In kindness and affection, we feel love's caressing. In heartfelt gratitude, we accept our blessings. Fulfilling our divine purpose as self-realized, our eternal gift of being, most cherished prize. Accepting, understanding, love flowing with passion, raising each other through deep compassion. Children of God, blessed are we, united as one family.
Very nice, very nice.
And again, it makes me think of Maui because we feel such compassion. We're all sisters and brothers. I know that. I feel that. These are our sisters and brothers. And, my heart just, I feel it. It doesn't go away. I feel his compassion. I feel it. And I send love and prayers. And, and I really think that that's uniting people on earth who are feeling that same compassion for the people there and sending prayers and energy, which I know helps.
It certainly does. It's such a tragedy and such a horrific thing. And then, that people were there withholding things to help. That's just unbelievable.
And that's a huge group thing that they are going through. But individuals also go through crises, as you know.
Yes, I know very well, actually.
Well,
So do you.
Yeah, exactly. So I have compassion for you. I have compassion for myself. I have compassion for all the people that are going through all these things. We're all doing it with purpose. It's activating our DNA. It's creating enlightenment. We are becoming empowered by going through these difficult things. And, you know, we are standing in the light, for the light, being light, and shining our light. And we're more united now than ever. And I just really want to point that out because, you know, it's our hearts that are united. We're united through our feeling nature more than anything. And so that unity is what gives us strength too. And that compassion, of course, is pure love. So I want to always look at those good things because there's a lot of things that are coming out that we have to overcome through that unity and strength and compassion. It's
Most
helpful.
definitely. The I'm going to bring up one of your memes that you did. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, we can talk about it a little bit too, and that is on my Facebook. So, or not Facebook, but Skype. So this was the official ballot watermark. All
Yes.
other ballots are invalid. So if you're someone who voted for the person that they claim lost, I will be happy to inform you that it wasn't a loss. It was a lie. So anyway, and actually Free Range covered the fake inauguration a couple of years ago. And
Jan Helper Hayes is bringing this out. That's one reason I thought it'd be good to highlight it. She said this was a military sting operation, Space Force, you know, cybersecurity. You know, they do have, this is the official ballot watermark. All other ballots are invalid. And there's another meme somewhere there where it listed the number of dead people that voted. I doubt if they were on official ballot with water.
well, that's a different one.
Oh yeah, that's a different one. Yeah, yeah. I did that quite a while ago, and sure enough, you know, climate change. Woo!
Yeah, definitely. Here's another one. See the light of awareness dawning as God's plan is victorious. Let's see, is this the one? I'm looking for the one you were just talking about, but so far I don't think I've found it.
That's interesting. Yeah,
yes.
there's a meeting that Obama had with the, who was it? The Italian military officer, Claudio Graziano. And that was like one of his last meetings when he was in office. And he was on the board of the Leonardo company. So they had that Leonardi election data, that satellite. So his meeting was with Matteo Renzi, Prime Minister of Italy. And so there's Obama, you know, with the last state dinner with that guy from Italy. So that's an interesting meeting that we have pictures of.
Yes. And it's so, when I think about, you know, all the money that they recovered from the Vatican, and they have the audacity to say things to the native people in Hawaii, they'll give them $700. Are you kidding me? That is nothing for what they've been through.
Yeah.
Nothing.
All the truth that's coming out.
Joke.
Yeah. So
more votes than, here we go. Here's more votes than registered voters. How does that happen? Mail-in votes.
And that's only 4 of the states. The pictures in the background are pictures I've taken. That was one in Colorado. I didn't take this one. Here's the one I was just talking about too. How many people have been in a real life situation but saw a completely different portrayal on the news? Like you were there and you know what happened and you want to call BS. That happened to me.
Yep. Yeah, you had quite the experience for sure as well. Let me see what we got here. One more. Trust the plan. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto thy own understanding. He trusted in God. Let him deliver him now if he will have him. For he said, I am the Son of God. Trust in him all you. See, and one of the things that's always said is that, if this isn't exactly what I meant, but my people perish for lack of knowledge. And that's what's happened in America, because people have had lack of knowledge because the media has lied to them so much.
Concealed. It created appearances, smoke screens,
Exactly.
lies.
So, moving right along, now I have an interesting little piece of information here that I'll just throw in there.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if you can see this or not. Of course, it's probably all backwards, right? Let me say, I'll tell you what it says. It says 10 days of darkness. In 1582, 10 days from October 5th through October 14th were erased from time with the introduction of the Gregorian calendar.
Mhm.
I think we're moving back to the other calendar, which may have something to do with these other things. Other than that, we keep hearing about the EBS and the videos and the tribunals and all that, but pretty soon, hopefully, people will actually see it happening. I think it's happening already, but we're just not seeing it.
Well, what I understand, and if you take a pulse on the level of awareness and you see how much it has increased, a lot of these things, I believe, are based on like the temperature of the collective consciousness. Like, are they ready? Are the majority ready? Have we reached that percentage that we need to come out with this? You know what I mean?
How do they measure those percentages anyway?
Well, I don't know, but I do believe that part of it is by the reactions to different things that happen. And I would say that if I were measuring, I would measure by a lot of people's reactions to the Maui thing. I mean, it keeps coming back to that. There's so many more people that did awaken people, and it also shows how many people are awake and don't buy into so-called official narratives and stuff like that. That thing was picked apart from the beginning, and more people are waking up because of that. So I think that, I really, in my heart and soul, I'm observing, and I'm looking at all these different things. I observe people waking up, indications, actual evidence, in my own realm of people I'm around. When somebody talked about doing the COVID 2.0, people were saying, I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm not going to get a shot. I'm not going to do any of that. No way.
Be sure and watch the video I did with Judy Mikovits. We didn't put that on YouTube, by the way.
Good.
No way. Yeah, they would have taken it. They just hear her name and take it down. But that's well worth your watching. And this woman is an expert.
She's earned her badge of honor, everything she's been through to get the truth out. God bless her.
Yes, exactly. She is a light warrior supreme. So,
yes.
And about that. So, anyway, wasn't there one more poem?
Yeah, there was one more poem. You were going to read it.
Okay, no problem. I don't mind. As long as I don't know if I read it exactly the way you would want me to read it, but I do my best.
Oh, you do perfect. You do a great job.
Okay.
I don't read the other one because your bookmark was gone.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting thing. I mean, I did, those words that were in there were like, that is not how I talk.
Uh-huh. Interesting.
It is. Okay. But the message was loud and clear, and we are one family.
Yes, we are. We're all connected, and what you do to someone else, you do to yourself. That's what people don't, in a way, because we are connected. But yeah. Anyway, and it's nobody's fault because we were never, educated about any of this, really, and we were programmed and all kinds of things. So
that's what's changing right now. All that is being dissolved. It's the change of the power, and we're changing.
And it's a beautiful thing to see. Okay, the name of this last poem that we're going to read is called The Well and the Lighthouse. Okay. Dipping in within the heavenly realms where brilliant ideas flow, divinely inspired to share such treasures creates an inner glow, increasing illumination and love from the receptive heart so pure. A pillar of light emerges for guidance that is sure. A fountain of courage and strength, built by cascading grace, removes frailties and uncertainties, clarity and purpose taking their place. With gratitude and peace at hand, a new understanding is born to share and give forgiveness and love to uplift those souls forlorn. Gifts to share with inspiration to do it. Life is expressed, vitality renews it. Joy to transcend dualities of life. Heavenly cooperation ends all of the strife. Peace pockets are formed by resonant souls. A new era of peace as heaven unfolds. Vision is lifted, vibrations maintained. Perception of whole truth is gained. Immaculate conception of God's divine plan. The sweeping spirit of God's hand. The well of spirit that our souls have accessed. Pillars of light. The whole world is blessed. Does this go on another page or is that it?
I don't think so.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And I see that with my inner eye. Like all this stuff is happening in the outer world, but what is happening to our souls? We are coming into our own. We are realizing and expressing our potential. And since necessity is the mother of invention, when we have to take a stand, when it comes to push or shove, we gather our light, stand in the light, unify, and we shine the light so bright that, the darkness is going to be revealed and it's going to be dissolved. And that is what's happening. And somebody said, nice poem, Michelle. Thank you so much.
Her poems are wonderful. Yes, I love your poetry, Michelle. It's very spot on right now, and flows, and
it's uplifting. It
increases awareness and uplifting all at the same time, and spiritual all at the same time.
Yeah,
so it's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's obvious you were inspired.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of intertwined with my life and the things that are happening on the outside, because it brings enlightenment to a situation, but also empowerment, because it brings a sense of we can defeat this evil. We can unite. We can defeat, all is not lost. Yes, things may look bleak. Yes, we may go through individual or collective dark nights of the soul, but there's always a light, and we can always make it brighter. And there's always, hope and faith and help. And so, there's always a friend. There's always, something that's going to come in and help us. It happens all the time.
Thank you, Carlisle. Carlisle. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Reynolds. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. And that was from QFA for Michelle. Yeah. Thank you. We appreciate these little comments.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyway, I really hope that, all these different videos that bring truth to light, all these people that shine a spiritual perspective and look at the bigger picture and how we're lifting up and how we're changing for the better in spite of it all. I mean, anybody can look back on their life and say, I made it through that one. I made it through that one.
I know.
But I'm a better person for it. Better, stronger, brighter, wiser. Thank you for the blessing. Thank you for the lesson. Just try to keep getting better, because there's always room to grow.
Exactly. So, And yeah, I've always said sometimes you learn more from the things that you wouldn't want to do again than you do from the things that you did right, because they just kind of flow. But when you run up against a wall, or you do something like, oh God, why did I do this? Oh, this wasn't wise, whatever, then you really, after you get through it, it always looks dark as before the dawn, as they say.
That's a good saying for right now.
Once you get through it, though, then you have a whole different perspective because of what you've learned through that process and through that experience, and what you would either do to avoid it in the future or whatever it happens to be.
And what you're saying applies to our country and to the whole world and people of different countries. It's darkest before the dawn. We're going to get through it. We are definitely going to get through it. And it's never going to happen again, because we learn from it and we won't let it happen again. And we're raising the vibration of the planet. We are going to celebrate. We're going to dance. We're going to have music. We're going to overcome, obliterate, dissolve all the darkness, all the evil. It is not going to last. This is just a phase. This too shall pass. This will go away. This is the divine plan. It's the changing of the guard. It's us awakening. It's us rising, and the whole earth is going into a new dimension. And so, there are good things coming of all of this.
Okay, we have a question here. QV. Any insights on why some of us light warriors are moving around all the time without having a stable home?
I can speak to that directly.
Me too. I'm one of those people too.
I'm going to tell you a message I got one time. You're going to love this. You're going to love this answer, because I wondered about that. Guess what? There's a title for light warriors moving around all the time. You know what it's called? It's called the Angel Protection Plan. It's hard to hit a moving target. You are being protected and moved around and being you're being protected and made safe and getting out of harm's way all the time. You're being helped whether you know it or not. And I have moved around. Oh my gosh. I can't even tell you how many times I've moved around.
I've lost so many things from moving. It's not even funny.
And so, but I got a direct intuitive message saying that it was part of the Angel Protection Plan. So God bless the light warriors moving around. These are the heavy hitters. These are the ones that are really taking out the dark side. And congratulations. That's actually a good sign that you're on the way upper level of the light warriors. And stay safe, because you're being protected.
There you go. I wonder if it's time for me to move again. No. It might be. Anyway, we shall see. I hope not. I do like it here. I was drawn here. I was
well, even within the town. So I've moved around in this area at least 5 places in 5 years, maybe more, because some were like 6 or 7 months at a time. So not necessarily to a different state or different city, but just
different location. Yeah, or within the same. Yeah, I've done that many times too.
But I've moved to different states. I've moved to a different country. I've moved, and the thing is, I don't it's not really like, oh, I'm going to think about moving. It's like spirit shows me things start not working out in this area. I'm like, oh, I wonder if I'm going to move, and I'll sort of ask spirit, and then I'll get signs. And
all I have to do is get a business card with the address on, and then I have to move.
Everybody has their own way for the community. Yeah, right. I know what you mean. So what was it? Oh, I just came here where I'm at right now to visit. And I was in a long-term visit. Yeah. I was in a long-term visit, and but I planned on going back to Oregon. And then I woke up and I said to Spirit, am I supposed to stay here? And then I woke up one day and I'm like, I'm supposed to stay here. Yeah, yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I think you, inside your heart and soul, you know. Yeah, yeah. You know inside your heart and soul. You're
Sometimes we,
part
yeah,
of
sometimes we just like that confirmation from another person.
yeah, yeah. It's good to
So,
get validation and confirmation.
right.
You know, that's one thing I wrote about my books, especially Live Love. I was like, this isn't necessarily new. Your soul knows all this stuff, but you need clarity, guidance, and confirmation and validation. And it really helps strengthen your soul and bring in more light and sort of fortifies your soul and also brings clarity to your soul's blueprint.
What's this? Wait a minute. Yeah, what do all 7 mean and 17 and the 7 son of a 7 son? Is that 7 7? Well, 17 is actually a very spiritual number. If you look it up, it's actually an angel number resulting in spiritual growth. Which I looked it up because that was something that Drake had suggested. And he is recovering, by the way, if people are wondering about him. And anyway, he said, look up the number 17. And so I did, and it's actually an angel number.
That's my
Yeah.
birthday, Gail. 1/7. January 7. 1/7 is my birthday.
Well, and your last name is Angel. I mean, let me see if I can find it real quick here. Yeah, here it is. Let me, oh, you're going to love this. I got to show this, okay? Let me share this page. Yeah. Here we go. Okay, angel number 17 means divine energies want you to stay on your path, keep a positive outlook on life, and trust that you will achieve all that you set out to do. This number is rich with wisdom, spiritual awareness, and deep vibrational energy. I was shocked when I looked it up. But here we go. That's what's going on right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I have an angel number book and I look up numbers all the time. Things that I see, things that come to me, and they all have important meanings. And
Yeah.
I feel the communication. When I see the numbers, I feel the communication, within my soul. I feel the significance of something.
It was my son who is going into a trial soon, which you probably won't see as much as me at that time. But anyway, he's recently saw 444.
Mm-hmm.
4 4s. Okay. And he was concerned about it because somebody told him that was bad. Well, that's not bad.
It's a number for angels, and I see it all the time also.
Yes. And it's here's what it says for angel number 4444. Because he saw it as 3 4s and 4 4s. So I'm reading the 4 4 ones, meaning, so if you're seeing 444, listen to this. It meaning centers around overcoming challenges and ultimately finding the success that you seek. Life can be tough sometimes, but the universe grants us infinite strength to deal with everything put in our path, and our angels never leave us out in the cold without their support. So,
and that's a good reminder that we are never alone. We always have angels. We have our loved ones around us on the other side. We have, masters, light beings. We're part of a network. We are never, ever, ever alone. We can ask for help. We can ask for comfort. We can ask for information. We can ask for healing. And, it's a good reminder always, to remember to ask. I have to remind myself a lot of times, remember to ask.
Yes, exactly. Now here, she mentioned 777, and that's another angel number that's linked to self-discovery and personal growth. So it focuses more on relationships. 777 urges you to take time for yourself and embrace solitude. It encourages you to tune out distractions and contemplate your direction in life.
Solitude is a very soul strengthening circumstance.
Boy,
And
is it ever. Yes.
I actually do close my eyes and do meditation every day to start my day. And once I started that, I could never stop because my whole life changed. Every day, I am founded and grounded in the peaceful presence of God. And I feel like I am more divinely guided. I'm tuned into that divine guidance.
How much time does that usually take in the morning for you? Just out of curiosity.
Usually 30 minutes minimum. Minimum, but I like an hour to an hour and a half, but my work schedule just, doesn't allow. Today I did an hour. Today was an hour.
Well, the reason I bring that up is sometimes people have difficulty or say they have difficulty, and I don't want them to think that they have to go that long. They really don't.
No, I started with 5 minutes a day.
Yeah, that's where
Yeah, I decided just to do it daily, and I thought I can dedicate 5 minutes a day. Then I decided to do it for 15 minutes. And, but just, it doesn't matter as long as it's daily. 5 minutes is extremely powerful and beneficial. 5 minutes.
All right. Well, we're coming up on almost an hour and a half. We have about 10 minutes.
Wow.
I know. We have a few more minutes. If anybody has any more questions, or if you have anything you want to add, Michelle, we could, anyway, I think we always need to remind people the best is yet to come. There's real truth in that statement.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. And, I myself many times have been hanging on by a thread and, not knowing how I'm going to get by. And I just have faith in each day unfolding. And I've been living on faith. And I mean, I'm not, it's really hard to describe, how I keep getting through in life because, it's, it's strength, it's courage, it's tuning in, it's, needing in all humility, needing help every day, really help every day. That's another reason I meditate. I ask for help every day and I need help every day. And I really need to draw from source that light and that courage and that ability to receive unconditional love, because we're all worthy of unconditional love, and sometimes we don't think that we're not worthy. Every single one of us, regardless of anything, are loved totally and unconditionally by God. I mean, just unconditional love is unconditional love. And if we can hold that space for other people, then we leave a space open for people to learn from their mistakes, for people to turn around, and also for ourselves to grow and to always be the bigger person and, transmute energy and return, energies as love. It's challenging. I'll tell you, it's challenging, but we can be, it doesn't mean that we have to be a doormat for peace. No, we learn boundaries and discernment. And one of my books I wrote is called Boundaries for Bullies. It's sort of funny. So we don't need to take crap either. That's not what it's about. We can be strong and firm and, stand strong, hold the line. Are you muted?
Sorry about that. I forget that sometimes I'm mute because I had a little cough and I didn't want to cough into the microphone. So I was just talking about, well, first of all, I wanted to mention that the sevens, I think all those sevens are just nothing but a good thing. Yeah. And I wouldn't be concerned in a negative way. And as far as, now I'm forgetting what else I was going to say, but it's not that important. Already come back to me. So I guess that pretty much wraps this up. And I just want to encourage everyone to go out there and hack the dark and spread the light. I just kind of like, that's a new way I heard it said, and I like that. So,
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, we each have a sword of truth. That's our inner light that we can shine. And we can shine it by sharing the truth and spreading the truth and standing for the truth. So
Exactly.
that's that sword of truth. That's light. It's made of light.
Yes. All right. Well, I think that we pretty much have covered everything that we wanted to cover today.
And more.
And more. Yeah. Things that we weren't even planning on talking about, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But have faith and have faith over fear. That's really important. And remember that your courage is contagious. When you're courageous, the chances are very high that you're going to encourage someone else to stand up next to you. So don't be afraid to stand and know that God's on your side. How could we lose?
Yay. It's all love.
Yay.
It's all love. It's all
It's
love.
all love. And we'll see you again real soon.
Okay. Thank
A lot
you.
of love. See you soon. Bye, everyone.
We have found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are, and like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers, stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now, don't look back now. Rise up, stand with each other. We are sisters and brothers, finding our place and running the race. We'll take our chance and seize the moment. Hold on tight and don't let go of all your hopes and dreams that light the way. We control our fate. Destiny awaits. We are all the actors in the stories we create. Hope will be our guide. We'll no longer hide. When we roll like thunder, feel the wonder from inside. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on